completely or fight on utterly alone.
The government caved in today and accepted an opposition amendment to the Maastricht Bill rather than going to a vote and being defeated. The amendment is designed to reverse Mr. Major's treasured opt-out from the social chapter on workers' rights. The Foreign Secretary, Mr. Hurd, said it was tiresome but irrelevant. Conservative Euro rebels and the trade unions immediately announced legal challenges to that view. Our political editor, Michael Brunson, reports.
In the end, faced with certain Commons defeat or cutting and running, John Major, as he went about his prime ministerial business, ordered Douglas Hurd into the Commons to back away with as much dignity as he could muster. Even before the formal climb down, Labour's Jack Cunningham was snapping and snarling at Mr. Hurd, mocking the whole handling of the Maastricht Bill.
Government has demonstrated a quite unique facility of being able to stick its head in the sand and still come up with egg on its face. The government would
a dismissive Mr. Hurd, but faced once again with the ghastly arithmetic of Tory rebels like Tony Marlow joining the opposition parties, the Foreign Secretary said none of them would get what they wanted. The rebels would not wreck the treaty, and the opposition couldn't force the introduction of the social chapter. So, to hoots of derision, Mr. Hurd effectively said, let's call the whole thing off.
This amendment is tiresome, undesirable, but in practice, irrelevant. The government is prepared to acquiesce in the amendment on the... rather than give its push-me-pull-you opponents the entirely, and we can see it through these cackles, the entirely synthetic victory which they grant.
But the reaction of the Liberal Democrats really summed it all up.
Well, there we are.
But the knockabout in the Commons can't hide the fact that British law does not now incorporate Britain's escape clause from the social chapter, something which was once hailed as John Major's finest diplomatic triumph once he got into Maastricht. Now it'll become a lawyer's plaything, as Tory rebels and union bosses alike plan their legal challenges.
Well, the government has had all along two views, effectively, as to how important this was. Its first view was that it was extremely important, its first legal view. Its second view has been that it isn't very important. Now, that is something which a court of law is going to have to test.
Well, the government's on the run, and while they're running away, we'll keep chasing them. It looks to us as if there are at least three approaches we can make to ensure that British workers get the benefits of the social chapter, and we'll take them all through the courts.
Thank you for being here.
But in a lunchtime speech today, the Prime Minister said he would not be moved on Europe and the social chapter. He talked up the economic recovery and his government's record so far. So he's gambling, reckoning the country and the courts will eventually regard all the fuss over Maastricht as what one of his ministers tonight called so much tosh. But the government can't just dismiss things just like that. First, there's the question of this whole treaty. This, the Maastricht Treaty, the front part now part of British law, but this, the opt-out at the back, now open to legal challenge, and serious challenge at that. And secondly, Mr. Major once again appears to be in the grip of events rather than taking a grip himself. He must change that perception. Michael Brunson, News at 10, Westminster.
The world's top woman tennis player, Monica Seles, said tonight it would be some time before she felt psychologically ready to take part in big competitions again. It was her first public appearance since the knife attack last week. Bill Healy reports.
Monica Seles couldn't hide her pain today. The left arm she serves and volleys with held stiffly at her side. Her shoulder muscles damaged by the stabbing. I'm okay, she said. Lucky. Her doctor said very lucky.
I'm just trying to take it day by day and not look forward, not get impatient.
It's 5 days since Seles played her last shot, sat down and was stabbed in the back.
And all I just felt was like, ooh, something in my back, and then I just saw blood coming out, and then I turned back and I just saw the guy with a knife.
The assailant said he stabbed her so her rival Steffi Graf could once again be number one.
I never thought this would happen, it was just, it was a shock, that's for sure, and I do hope it's never going to happen to anybody.
But to stop it happening, she wants more security at Wimbledon and elsewhere.
And you have no protection. I cannot protect myself from the back. I had no idea this was coming. It has to be improved, that's for sure. And I just think, we shouldn't wait that this should happen to somebody else. I think
she doesn't know when she'll be back on court, but she vowed today, I will be.
Oh no, I love the game too much. I'm going to come back and, I'm a strong person.
But Seles and her doctor say she's likely to miss this month's French Open and next month's Wimbledon. Bill Neely, News at 10, Washington.
Still to come on News at 10, the rapid rise in hay fever. Why you can get it walking down a busy road. Dogs that drive you barking mad, how the government says you can shut them up. And the high cost of insurance in focus on Britain, why some risk losing everything rather than pay their premiums.
When I made inquiries about reinsuring, I just didn't think it was worth what it would cost to insure. Silly, perhaps.